Instead of trying to be authentic, produce content about things you want the audience to know about you. I don't know if you're using trial reels as much as I am now, even on the Broke Agent account, but a trial reel does not go to your immediate audience. So you could test it out with a trial reel if it's a completely new piece of content and you're kind of worried of how it would perform with your initial audience. If it does well to a bunch of non-followers, that's signal to share it to your page and then maybe turn that into a signature series.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to another Real Estate Video Blueprint podcast. I am here today solo as your host, Katie Day. I am joined by the esteemed Eric Broke Agent Simon, also known as Dr. Clickstein, also known as the Duke of Double Taps, the Feed Whisperer, the Sultan of Swipes, Eric Scroll Stopping Simon, the branding boss, the King of Captions. What's up, man?
Let's go. The Duke of Double Taps is always my favorite, and the Sultan of Swipes, but that was better when you could actually swipe up on Instagram stories.
Yeah.
So it could be swipes with carousels, but all fantastic nicknames. So thank you.
You don't want to know how I figured all of those out, do you?
Yeah, I've said them 10,000 times before.
You have.
And also ChatGPT.
You have. So, yeah, I was actually texting with Jason Cassidy about this because obviously you guys co-hosted a pod for a while. So he heard all of these and I was like, yo, I know that Eric does this. I was like, so this is the level of psychopath that I am. I went into Claude Cowork and I was like, hey, go to this playlist and give me all of the URLs. And I took all of them and I dropped them into Notebook LM. And then I was like, hey, at the start of each of these episodes, Eric Simon often says his name with a nickname like Eric, Dr. Clickstein Simon. Can you please give me the full list of names he uses for himself? And if they've come up multiple times, sort the list by quantity in descending order. And then...
See, Katie, that's the level of detail that makes this pod and makes REVB so great, is that sort of research. I actually have, I'm going to just lead this off with a quick content tip about those AKAs that I do in the intro.
Let's do it.
So when I would say AKA Dr. Clickstein, AKA Sultan of Swipes, it's AKA the Caption King, whatever it is, we got a lot of comments that said they liked these, right? It was funny. It's kind of like an inside joke with the audience. So I was doing them a lot. And then I got one comment, Katie, that said, can you stop with all the AKAs? We are like 5 minutes into the episode and there's no value delivered yet. So that one comment, because I'm sensitive, threw me off and I stopped doing the AKAs or would only do one. And then I got comments saying like, hey, where did the AKAs go? So it's kind of twofold. It's great to have some sort of inside joke with your audience, especially in long form pods like this. Like the Knowledge Brokers does a great job at having inside jokes with their audience, but it also shows you how one negative comment can kind of throw off your perspective on things, because then I was just thinking to myself, oh my God,
this asshole hates me. Yeah,
I take forever to get to the actual value of the episode.
It's interesting. You know, I know that y'all do live events and you've attended a lot of live events, and it's like, you know, often there'll be a feedback form that needs to be filled out, and like one negative feedback will like just ruin my day. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, every single person there could be like, high five, this was amazing, this was great. And then the one person that's like, oh, it was a little cold. I'm like, God, I knew I should have kept it warmer. I knew I should have had blankets for everyone. Like, what was I thinking? I'm so stupid. So speaking of events, you guys have an event coming up. Are there still
BAM Camp team leaders? We got 14 tickets left. So if there's any team leaders in the REVB audience, which I know there are, Scottsdale, Arizona, September 22nd. I like it. Get straight into promo at the beginning of the episode.
He's given no value, but if you want to spend some money, hop on in. No, it was a good segue, you know, and
it was.
We'll plug it again later, and then they'll be like, oh, I've heard this. I heard about this before somewhere. I should buy it.
Exactly.
All right. So for someone who doesn't know you, who are you?
I am Dr. Clickstein, aka the Broke. No, I started the Broke Agent 11 years ago. As a struggling real estate agent. I say it in quotes because I was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out, half doing content. I've been doing the Broke Agent for 11 years, but started BAM Media 4 years ago with Byron Lazine. BAM is the daily playbook for real estate agents. There's no paywall. It's podcasts, it's blogs, it's newsletters, it's virtual events, in-person events, the media company that we believe real estate agents deserve. So my last 4 years have been spent building BAM, running the BAM Instagram, the newsletter as the head of content there. So I am constantly in the weeds, the algorithmic weaves in hell, if you will. And I am constantly trying to collab with other agents and bring on creators and just expand the brand. So that's what I do.
Well, it's been a really cool journey to see, right? Because I think most people know who you are as far as like creating memes, you know, over the past decade, basically, right? And all of the posts and jokes and things. And so it's been really cool to see the evolution of the brand being like, hey, I have this idea that like, just like no paywall, most value ever, to like actually in practice doing the things. And you know, I mentioned obviously like you guys are doing the event, and that's like more team leader driven, and so it's cool to see kind of all of these things that you guys keep layering on. And it's also crazy the amount of content that you guys put out. And so I kind of want to talk about that, you know, as far as I think in the past 30 days, you guys have launched 2 new podcasts.
Yes.
And you've also launched a new channel, right? Is there anything else
Yes.
that I'm missing that I'm not aware of?
A lot. So I launched the Broke Agent channel, which you were on, which is one of our best performing episodes. So great job there.
Number 1 episode out of 1. I love it.
Yes. We launched the Porch Swing podcast, and we also launched Branded with your boy, Brad McCollum. So we're constantly testing out new shows, different channels. The reason, here's finally something tactical here. The reason I launched the Broke Agent channel is I was doing the walkthrough podcast, which I was co-hosting with Jason Cassidy, which was our marketing content on the BAM YouTube channel. Our BAM YouTube channel is mostly housing news and industry news. But then you have a marketing pod every Thursday, constantly throwing off the algorithm. So I talked to Sharon's content team. I was just like, should I pull this off? Meaning pull off the walkthrough, start my own channel and just have it marketing only? The answer was a resounding yes. The engagement on that with only 1,000 subscribers so far has already surpassed some of the walkthrough episodes on the main channel. So if you're ever thinking about tiering your content or having your content, whether it might even be on Instagram or YouTube, having something that's very niche specific really helps with the algorithm, because now they're subscribing. They know they're getting one marketing video every single week. With the BAM, it was just like, okay, it's the hot sheet. Now it's the real word. Now it's the marketing. Like, and then if you don't watch 2 things on that channel, but you only watch the walkthrough, you're then telling it, the YouTube algorithm, that you don't want to keep seeing content from this channel.
Well, and I think I when I was doing my little deep dive into your content to be a creepy psychopath and have all of your nicknames, I thought I saw some of them were like also collabed, right? So similar to an Instagram collab, you're able to collab things. But like, I think for a real estate agent, right? If I were doing, say, a local news channel and also a moving to channel, those probably wouldn't all be like, I wouldn't collab them. I would just kind of let them find the people on their own, right? Like if I had a moving to Houston, Texas, and I was talking about pros and cons and cost of living and what it's like to move here and comparing to other cities and states, and then like one that was more geared toward people that actually already lived there, I don't know that I would mix them. I would just probably keep them separate on like YouTube.
Yeah, I would keep those separate too. I mean, you're kind of the perfect example of this on Instagram.
Thank you.
Had you're welcome. You had the huge Move Me to Texas brand already. And then you started Houston Unlocked as your hyper niche brand. And you just know what you're going to get every time you see a piece of content from Houston Unlocked. It is going to be hyper local news-based content. And it keeps, the algorithm knows exactly what to do with it. So even if you take breaks from Instagram, say you take a 7-day break, 10-day break, or you go on one of these social cleanses that people love to tout, that's a fool's move. If you actually, because if you go on a 2-month social hiatus for your mental health, which I understand, by the way, but if you do, it's going to take a couple weeks to get back to train the algorithm what your content is. So Brock Johnson, Instagram coach, always talks about this. Breaks hurt. So I'm not saying you can't take a couple of days off, but then you have to keep retraining the algorithm as it serves up this content and says, wait, who likes this stuff?
Well, and I would say, depending on what type of content you're putting out, there's probably a way in which you could schedule out some content and schedule out some carousels and some things to happen. So unless, you know, like it would be like if Byron were to take a break from doing, you know, his daily podcast, like that would be difficult to have some evergreen content. But like, you know, you could create carousel posts for your listings. You could create carousel posts for local things that are happening, you know, weekend events and things like that, to like at least have something going out that is niche specific.
Yeah, have them in the bank. Anytime, you know, whether it's honeymoon, vacation, whatever it is, I've always had posts in the bank to make sure that I am constantly feeding that algorithm.
Yeah, for sure. We got a surprise guest.
Oh my God, all the way from Europe. What's up, Tim?
How we doing?
What's up, buddy?
Fantastic. Great to see you.
I thought it was funny that he accepted the calendar event, and I was like, I know he's not coming, and then like he just pops on 12 minutes late.
I'm just popping in. I'm not hanging around. I just want to come on and say, Eric, you're the man, and you've done amazing things since I've met you however many years ago. And so I don't know if you're at the point where you start saying nice things about him, or you're just going to keep hammering away at the negatives. But I just want to come say something nice to my friend Eric, and I appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you. And to you as well. You've done amazing things. And look at you. You're in Europe now. What city is that?
Oh, Amsterdam. It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, there's all these. I don't know if you know this, but everybody rides bikes here and no helmets, and they just go to town. And Katie loves diversions like this, but it's just funny how like you could not put 50 Americans on a bike on bicycles all trying to cross traffic together and not have everybody crash into each other. Yet they figure it out.
There'd be a pile up.
And half of them are probably high.
True.
Yeah, while they're doing it. So
yeah,
it's amazing.
It's actually impressive.
Yeah.
Did you have a question to ask, or did you also want to make fun of him? Like you told him
just want to show that you're on vacation in Europe. It's actually perfect timing because Katie, we were just talking about how when you go on vacation, you should have some post planned, especially being in Europe. You're in a completely different time zone. Did you schedule out content for this vacation?
That would imply that he was posting content to begin with.
But I did the opposite. I posted that I was going on vacation. It was going to stay off social media on vacation. So I let the audience know, hey, I'm unplugging for a little bit. You're going to not see anything from me for a little while.
It's
so I
did
the complete
It's actually been nice.
I think people are going to actually encourage more of me not posting anything. So I did the opposite.
Katie, you know how we were just talking about how you need to schedule content with Tim? I think it is an exception because then we don't have to see him on our feed for a couple of weeks.
Look at that facial hair.
The entire industry.
Look at that facial hair. It's it's like I'm confused as to why there are so many different patches of skin. Where
all right, listen. All kidding aside, I am excited to go back to listen to this one. I'll hop off and stop bothering you. But Eric, you're the man. Appreciate not just like everything you've accomplished, but everything you do for agents every single day. That's it. That's all I wanted to do.
You too, man. Have a good rest of your vacation. Thanks for popping in.
What a guy. Now he can't figure. Okay, there we go. I was like, he can't figure out how to exit the live stream. Okay. I feel like we kind of got derailed there. All right. So we talked a little bit about how you guys are continuing to add more content. I think for the average agent, that's kind of daunting.
Yeah.
Right. And so do you have advice on that front of like, we should potentially separate out channels or separate out, different niches or ideas because it has a different target audience. But like then, we interviewed Kristen Nielsen the other day on a mastermind, and when she's like, everything's going the way it should, she's putting out 20 pieces of content a week. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. I think the advice in general for this is experimentation and figuring out what sort of content you like producing and what sort of content your audience likes. So if you go a hyperlocal route or you go a storytelling route, you can still test it on your page. And especially you could test it with trial reels. I don't know if you're using trial reels as much as I am now, even on the Broke Agent account, but a trial reel does not go to your immediate audience. So you could test it out with a trial reel. If it's a completely new piece of content and you're kind of worried of how it would perform with your initial audience, if it does well to a bunch of non-followers, that's signal to share it to your page and then maybe turn that into a signature series. So signature series are huge right now on Instagram, which is a very kind of repeatable system, a repeatable background or storytelling. So for example, there's a guy named, Dave Portnoy, right? From Barstool.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't know him personally, but
right. Of course. So he has one called Tea by the Sea, and it's super lo-fi, meaning it's low effort, raw, one take, 90 seconds, just like gossip about pop culture. But it's a signature series where he starts it with Tea by the Sea, and then it's like, episode 1 or whatever, and then he's ranting about something. That sort of signature series is performing really well on Instagram and gives people a reason to follow you because they kind of understand that this repeatable content is coming. So Haley Ingram does a great job of this on Coffee and Contracts, where she does a Claude series for real estate agents. I'm sure some that real estate agents do, whether it's storytelling in their car or it's a specific like hyper local series. And then at the end of each post, I'm really big on this now. You do this on Houston Unlocked, but it's super necessary, especially because followers are so hard to come by at this point because the algorithm just feeds you content you want to see. There's kind of no reason to follow people as much. Tell them why they should follow you in the caption, right? You do this at the end of every Houston Unlocked where you say, follow Houston Unlocked for what? What do you say?
That's a great question. It's just a keyboard shortcut, so I don't even follow Houston Unlocked for more Houston news and development updates like these, I think.
Yeah. So I'm starting to do that on the Broke Agent now. Like follow the Broke Agent for real estate humor and marketing tips. Follow BAM for real estate news, marketing tips, agent strategy, and pods basically. So basically having this at the end of each caption gives them a reason to follow, or saying something like follow for part 2. All right. So I just started a new Instagram called Eric Simon Says, which is basically an Instagram that has nothing to do with real estate. So I kind of have carte blanche to just talk about whatever I want to talk about and do rants about pop culture, sports. Of course, I'm not going to touch politics, but the total addressable market on a Instagram like this is way bigger than the 1 million licensed real estate agents. But what I did is I did a post called 4 celebrities that I never want to hear from again. And I listed the celebrities, one being Jelly Roll. I don't know if you've the worst. Number 2 was Pedro Pascal. Number 3 was Jason Kelsey, former Philadelphia Eagle. And number 4 was Benson Boone. By the way, the 4th one, I don't actually hate Benson Boone. But for content purposes, if you throw in one that people actually like, it gets them debating in the comments. So it's like 3 people you hate, 1 person you like. The point is, I pinned a comment on that post, which now has 1.1 million views. It's my 3rd post ever on this account, saying follow for part 2. Because people are saying, like, do a part 2 of this. Like, we want to see more celebrities that you hate, more athletes that you hate, comedians that you hate. So you could always pin a comment too in your Instagram that says, like, follow for part 2, follow for part 3. Or at the end of your actual Instagram post, you could say follow for part 2. Like, you could actually verbally say that. So that gives people a reason to follow if you kind of tease out content that you're going to keep talking about on your page. So Haley does a really good job at this. Again, on Coffee and Contracts, she'll talk about Claude and she'll say, follow for part 6 coming out tomorrow. Yeah. So it's like you kind of have to keep following the journey.
For people that don't know you very well personally, like, this might be a really great outlet for you.
Yes, it will be.
I'm impressed. So I'm looking at it now. I'm deciding if I should follow or not. So let me know, in the show notes, in the comments, if you're watching on YouTube, if I should follow him or not. But like, your videos are at 5,700, 63,000, 335,000, 1.1 mil, 6,700, but you only have 1,800 followers. Like, that's wild.
I started 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Or last week. Yeah. The first video did not perform great. Second video is at 300,000 views. The 3rd video is at 1.1 million. And that's the celebrity one. The reason why, because the content is good, but because the total addressable market is bigger.
It's everyone.
But also because new accounts crush on Instagram. Old accounts, my broke agent account, I have to fight so hard to get engagement that I got in 2018, 2019 with 15 carousels with the funniest video ever. It has to be a completely new concept. You can't recycle anything at this point. So if you're watching this right now and you have a smaller account, or you're thinking of starting a new hyperlocal niche account, do it, because Instagram pushes it. It's like Instagram is just pushing you out into the ether so people could discover whether they like your content or not, because they want to keep you encouraged on that platform too.
That is not untrue. But what I would say, the only thing, if I'm going to take a contrarian point of view, is those that are doing hyperlocal content that started it on their real estate page, like a Bill Olson or a Rick Lee, were able to just continue to do their real estate related stories and things like that. But like, when you look at like the Pozek group, it took a very long time on the Orlando Reel for them to say, hey, this is sponsored by the Pozek group. And now they have like ads on the videos that say, like, if you're looking to buy or sell, call the Pozek group. And so I think that sometimes if you're just doing news, you have to figure out the ways in which you can sprinkle in real estate. That's normally on your stories, right? But also the real estate related content, because if you just come out the gate and all you're doing is market updates, like, it's probably not going to get a ton of local engagement. So you have to have that balance, or do it on your existing account and retrain the algorithm. So I don't disagree. I think that new accounts right now, are getting served up a ton. They are being suggested to the people that they think should follow them, and all of that and everything that you said. But also, like, if you can't post on one account now, maybe don't start to.
Yeah, I'm not saying abandon your existing account. The point is, and Gary Vee's been talking about this too, like, he's creating so many niche accounts. He has Gary Vaynerchuk, he has Gary Vee, he has Gary Vee Rants, Gary Vee Jets. He has one that's like NFTs or collectibles, VeeFriends. Yeah. So he's starting all these new ones because he has even said, like, I feel like his main account, which was so many different things, is and kind of his like perspective jumbled. Is almost like watered down and jumbled. Yeah. And it's like, I want to follow Gary Vee because I just want the business tips. then he has this one.
And then, so the other thing that you said that I don't want to ignore was the signature series. And so, obviously, the example of Dave Portnoy, your celebrities you hate. I mean, and that series for you could go on for years.
Yes.
Like, you could have part 444 of the 4 celebrities you hate. But like, if you are a real estate agent, right, maybe it's your client building their dream home, and obviously that takes a lot of time, and so there's things that go into that. Maybe it's something where day blank of helping a teacher find a home, day blank of buying a home with less than blank out of pocket, like different things. Maybe you're selling like a old historic home, so it's like day 1, day 2, day 200 of selling a home. Last year at REVB, Keegan out of Portland, Keegan Shivers, he went into his series that kind of put him on the map as far as content of them rehabbing and flipping a house, right? And like he had the same probably 10 pieces of B-roll, and he was like, it was 6 months before we even touched anything in the house, but like he was updating of, okay, hey, we're meeting with the designers, we're meeting with this architect to see if this is feasible to do this or do that or whatever. So I think that the behind the scenes stuff is a really good way that you can do signature series as a real estate agent and relate it to real estate.
Yeah, a simple hyperlocal one too is the ranking system, just that I did with celebrities, instead of what we see agents doing now, which is blind ranking lead gen systems, which is great content for other agents. You could blind rank the top Italian restaurants. You could blind rank your favorite coffee shops. You could take the contrarian route and say, these are the most overrated places in Los Angeles, right? You don't want to shit on local businesses, but you could say, like, the 5 most overrated things to do in Los Angeles are: number 1, go to Runyon Canyon for a hike. Number 2, go to SoFi for a Chargers game. Number 3, go to Venice Beach because you're going to be dealing with a bunch of crap, right? So you could kind of take this contrarian point of view, which people like, right? I know that's my personality, and a lot of people don't necessarily want to do that. But when you say something is overrated, or it's the 5 things not worth the money in Houston, right?
Yeah.
These are certain things that you get people arguing in the comments, and it shows an actual perspective, which is something that I also wanted to get into with content right now, which we touched upon a little bit the episode on the Broke Agent channel. But having a perspective, having an opinion on content, even if it's not news, just an opinion on something is really what's going to separate people in a time right now where you could just mass produce content with AI, with ChatGPT, with Claude. Like, everybody now has a massive content system at their fingertips, and you're just seeing so much replica content across all platforms, and especially in the real estate industry. Do you know how many times I have seen the buyers think it's 2008, sellers think it's 2021, and I think I'm 25 years old posts?
I wish I was 25 years old. Yeah, I have.
By the way, that was my meme like 4 years ago. I posted that meme, and then now I see every single agent doing B-roll of that same exact thing. It's a cute video, but where's the perspective? Where's the opinion on something?
Yeah.
I understand doing like trend jacks for shares. Trust me, this is how I built my entire career, basically. But
throw it out the window.
But right now on the Broke Agent channel, a meme is not worth as much for a follow anymore.
Yeah.
Because why follow a meme account? Because if I like this meme, it's just going to pop up again in my feed. Like, there's no value being given there, which is why my entire content strategy has shifted to perspective. It's industry commentary. It's my opinion on things. And that has a lasting effect of when I say something, sorry for ranting, but when I say something like AI won't replace real estate agents, but agents who use AI will replace those who don't, that becomes kind of a staple in the industry now, where people just repeat that back to me in content.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I never made that video or never had a perspective on anything, people lose their connection with me and think I'm just some person pumping out memes. So the point is, don't just pump out trend jacks, Canva templates, little, fun skits and stuff, unless there's an actual perspective on things with some of your other content.
Man, I'm really upset that you made the comment about the AI, because I was going to try to weave that in, us talking about AI and be like, Eric, I'm not sure if you've heard this, but, and then use the phrase. If you guys didn't see the video, he did a little rant. He's not normally known for rants, so it was a little weird. He did a rant on how frustrated he is with that phrase and how everyone says it at conferences and on panels. I was thinking, like, from an LA perspective, you could probably like rank like Erewhon smoothies of like, dollar, cost to taste, right? Paying 20
Yes.
or $30 for a smoothie, like that could be a good one. But
the five most expensive foods at Erewhon, like you could rank stuff within restaurants. You could rank restaurants against each other. You could rank overrated stuff. Like these are signature series. These are opinions, and similar to. And I know we kind of had differing opinions on this, and you're the actual proven expert on this, so I'm going to say that you are correct. But if you are doing some hyper local news, it would be good for some people, in my opinion, to give an opinion at the end of it. So if, hey, this new restaurant is coming in this neighborhood, here's what I think it's going to do, right? Like, why am I following this person that's delivering this news? Oh, they're giving me something of value to at the end of this, other than just reporting the news, which you do.
Yeah, I mean, and I try to add some things in, and so sometimes when I'm shooting things, like I will mention, I'm like, I'm obsessed with this place, but I don't, I want to know what you think, type thing, or something like that. But I definitely get DMs from people that are like, I appreciate that it's not like, everyone these days is so annoyed if, whether you're right leaning or left leaning with the other side, and news, just kind of sucking, right? And so, that's where I'm kind of coming from on that, right? But for some things, it's like I recently posted a video about like trash fees going up on your water bill, and like, I mean, we can all hate on the city for like shitty trash service, So, all right, so signature series are a good idea, or something where it's like they need to come back for the thing. One thing that I want to touch on too is you were mentioning like, hey, trend jacking, or doing like a B-roll reel that like you saw everyone else do. Like, I don't know if that's always the best idea too, because it's like you're not like focusing in on who your audience is. And so if you can relate it to your business or your local market in some way, then I think it's good to do. But sometimes it's like that funny post has no connection to your actual target audience.
Yeah, in the caption, you could dive deep. If you say buyers think it's 2008, sellers think it's 2021, people in Houston think it's 2025 because of this, and this, right? Yeah. Like you kind of break down what's happening in your local market based off of this post. But that particular post is for agents to get likes from other agents, which is fine, especially if you're trying to get referrals. But it's just kind of a meaningless post for your clients.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, trust me, I am the agent to agent content creator. I have built my career doing this. So it'd be hypocritical of me to say to not do that ever. But if your entire content strategy is kind of trend jacks and likes for other agents, and maybe you're not trying to build a downline, then you're just not really hitting on anything specific with your clients. One thing I also want to touch upon, Katie, is, and this is something like what I love about like REVB and the BAM conferences, is you guys deliver so much value at your conferences. Like it's so many examples and proof and breakdowns of, like, it's literally the blueprint for video creation. Other conferences, you'll have someone go up there and talk about how important it is to be authentic. And this is something I just sent out in our Viral Agent newsletter, which is our marketing only newsletter. But to me, that is such useless advice to try to tell someone to be authentic, because there's not really a call to action at the end of this. Like, oh, so I'm just supposed to be myself. This is not new information to anybody. Everybody knows at this point you're supposed to be authentic. So whenever anybody says this and gets a bunch of claps, I find it nauseating. But here's something that I've been thinking about recently, and I don't think I am the person to come up with this at all. But instead of trying to be authentic, produce content about things you want the audience to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it what about your personality? What about your family? Where did you go to school? Are you funny? Are you a dad? Are you a mom? What opinions do you have, right? It's still this kind of like perspective. What do I want people to know about content that creates the authentic content? So if you think about Sharon, he wants people to know about, he played tennis. He, was struggling in college to eat food. He worked, not eat food, but find food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A raccoon.
Exactly. He worked in Wall Street. What do I know about Gary Vee? He likes the Jets. He eats blueberries. He likes NFTs. Like these little connectivity points are stuff they want people to know about you. So I think if agents could start to think, what do I want people to know about me? That is where the authentic content comes out.
Well, I think we didn't touch on this before, and this is a great circle back to what you said earlier about how like giving some sort of opinion or giving some like in a world of AI slop, you need to have something of you in your content, right? And so as you said that, maybe that's something personal. Like I know there are people that their YouTube audience and followers know that they love sweet tea or they love Diet Coke, or every time they see a mirror in a home tour, they do a peace sign or make a funny face or, say what's up or whatever it is. Right. And so as people binge on your content and get to know you a little bit more, those are the things that make you stand out from like the people that are doing the same types of content. Right. And I think like, especially, when I'm on my Houston Unlocked channel now, like I'm seeing all of these other agents in Houston that are doing the same type of content. But like, some performs well and some doesn't, because like some of them are super niched into one specific area, or they're showing their personality really well, or they're whatever, right? So yeah, I think in a world of AI, having unique things about you that you are willing to share is very important for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Like if you're a big fan of like Grimace or something, that would be something that you would want to share. With people.
This was given to me in a gag bag 3 years ago at some party, and I think it's a great hat.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you could only drink one flavor of milkshake for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I don't drink milkshakes.
I mean, neither do I, but mine would be cookies and cream.
So would mine actually. I like cookies and cream flavored.
Man, I don't know if that makes me like you these more or less.
No, I like cookies and cream. That's the only ice cream I eat is cookies and cream. I eat ice cream sandwiches. They're always cookies and cream. Does that mean we've reached the end of the episode? You're going to ask me if I like peanut butter versus jelly? Don't post any of these clips. I delivered some value here.
No, you delivered a ton of value. All right. So what's on the horizon for BAM? Like what, you guys are coming out with all of these new series. You're adding on more creators and people and like, doing a ton of different stuff. And so that's really cool. You guys have the team lead mastermind coming up. Like what, in a little bit longer term vision, I'm not asking for like a 10-year plan or anything, but like a little bit longer term vision, what does that look like for you?
More events. We kind of took not a hiatus, but we had BAM Mania 2 years ago. And as you know, events suck the life out of you. And we were thinking like, all right, let's the event was a huge success and everyone kept asking when's the next one. But we were like, we need to slow down a little bit and like work on our community and work on all of our content. And then maybe need to do an event once every couple of years. What you guys mastered really well is let's just do REVB every single year. Let's sell it at the last event. Let's have kind of an embedded time when people can expect it. It builds the community. So that's what we're going to start working on is way more events and also some more niche events like BAM Camp Team Leaders, which was a huge kind of risk for us in the sense that we didn't really know how many team leaders were in our audience. Can we sell a high ticket mastermind to team leaders? And the answer has been a resounding yes. So that's really cool to see that our audience isn't just solo agents. We knew, of course, we had team leaders, but it's really cool to see that there were team leaders willing to pay high ticket to be at a 2-day mastermind on this. So social BAM camps, very specific, like BAM camps with BAM Mania is kind of the signature event that we're going to be having in early March.
I love that. And I think that, early March, mark your calendars.
No official date yet. But what we're seeing, as you have seen with events, is it really helps define and strengthen the community. And BAM, we produce so much content. We have so many pods. We have such an amazing community, but you have to have that in-person gathering. You have to, because that's where the FOMO kicks in. That's where the content's created. That's where the brand just really shows itself of, hey, I want to be around these people. I want to party with these people. I want to hang with these people. Like that matters.
No, 1,000%. And I think that it's something that if we're drawing the parallel for a real estate agent, like that's why you should probably have some sort of client events or VIP events or things where you can create that human to human connection. Because I think like we obviously went through COVID and now we're in this world of AI and like, I don't know about you, but it's like scrolling online and seeing, AI post after AI post after AI post. Like it's like, I would much rather spend time with someone, right? Than consume AI. And so I think that the more we move to technology and reliance on AI, like I think that the rise of community and togetherness will continue to be prevalent.
So many opportunities happen too, just when you're out and about. This is not news to anybody, but I'm kind of a hermit in my apartment. I'm just publishing content all day, right? I'm doing the newsletter. I'm publishing 4 to 5 pieces a day on BAM, Broke Agent. Eric Simon Says. I am writing blogs. I'm doing the Broke Agent channel. I'm reaching out to people for collabs, and we're testing out these new shows. So it becomes very digitized in your head where you're just seeing like engagement metrics and open rates, and it can be very frustrating when you're outward just publishing a bunch of content, checking engagement, seeing what's working, and then you go on social and then you see there's other people out and about. That's what creates the content, that's what creates the friendships, the opportunities. Like, I've met Byron at a conference, right? I've met you at conferences. That's what kind of creates these friendships, and you're just happier in general the more out and about you are. This is no profound statement by any means, but I'm just saying, like,
I think it's profound.
I totally recognize it.
Were you calling Byron a friend or me a friend?
Both, actually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. I think at this point we could call it what it is.
We can call each other friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna clip that.
Okay.
It's unfortunate. I just looked up. Simon Says is a private 0 post, 0 followers account. So it's unfortunate you couldn't have gotten that. But the Eric Simon Says, that's very witty. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Job.
Yes.
Proud of you.
Yeah. If you're just listening to this, follow Eric Simon Says. You know what's crazy is that post has now had more comments and engagement, not as many views as some of the top Broke Agent posts, but on my 3rd post, which is kind of like frustrating after building this account for 11 years and then just starting this one. But I'm excited to keep experimenting.
Yeah, it's fun. And I think it's a testament to like what people are looking for is like more authentic, but like, there's more raw content. Like a lot of the content I shoot like after a run or in the car or whatever, that's like not really edited. I just cut out my ums and ahs and shorten it down some, like performs so well because it's like not this like whoosh, 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 crazy, AI, buildings falling out of the sky type shit.
Listicles still work for celebrities that I can't stand. You're staying until that 4th one, no matter what. So if you take anything from this pod, listicles, retention is all that matters with your videos. Keep them watching from start to finish. And if you could do that, you will get follows.
I love it. All right. Awesome. Eric, thank you for coming on the pod and hanging out. If you guys aren't already following BAM, NOWBAM, nowbam.com, all of their stuff is on there for all of their pods and events and articles and blogs and all of the things. It is a great resource if you are looking to be more knowledgeable and sell more homes.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on. And it was unfortunate that Tim had to come on here and completely interrupt our flow to show that he's on a nice vacation in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to do this without him.
Yeah, same here. Thank you.